Hey, what's up, Exchangers? Jake here. Wanted to do a quick little video about our Beckett grading form. As with PSA, Beckett is for only in-store submissions. We do not accept submissions through the mail at this time, just because of the amount we already receive. This form can be printed and downloaded, which we ask you to do on the website you found this video, or on our website, IndyCarExchange.com. Just under the grading tab, you'll find Beckett, and then there's also PSA as well. So let's start with the form. There is 2 pages. This is just a bonus page if you have more cards than what is this sheet. This is the second page you use, or third or fourth, depending on how many you have. Just make sure to mark the page numbers up in the top corner there, so we know that you do have extra cards. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It's not as hard as the PSA form. Make sure to put your name, phone, and email, and please make sure your email is legible. We definitely need to be able to read them, as this is how we contact with you. And don't forget your name. We've had a few people submit forms without names, and that makes it a little bit more tricky for us to figure out whose cards are whose. At the top says please submit a different form for each different level of grading that you are submitting. So that falls into down here. So right now we're offering 3 different levels of submission for Beckett. We have 30 business days, 10 business days, and 5 business day submissions. So if you have cards that you want back faster, you need to do a separate form than if you're doing a 30 business. So if you have whatever level you have, you're only putting in 1 level here for a form. All right, so if you have cards that want to go on 30 and 10, the 10-day has to go on a separate form than this 30-day form. These business days are hit or miss. We have right now on the form kind of an estimated turnaround time. This is subject to change. We're filming this at the end of June 2020. This could change by the time you're watching it. We'll try to keep our form as updated as possible on the website. The price also is changing. We actually just did a price change for Beckett as they raised their prices. So just because this form shows this prices, make sure to look at the form you're printing off to make it easy. To explain the top here, sport, you can abbreviate, put BB for baseball, BK basketball, FB football, HK hockey, all that different type of stuff. Quantity, so if you have multiples of the same card, you just put a quantity in there. You don't need to do a different submission or a different line item for each of the same card. Just do a quantity for one. Year, the year of the card. Brand name, so that one is just the base brand name. So Panini Prism, Topps Definitive, whatever it is, it's just the base of the brand. Insert parallels where you put the breakdown of, for Prism basketball, if it's a silver, it's a purple, if it's Topps Chrome for baseball, if it's refractor, Prism refractor, gold refractor, that type of stuff. Where we really need help with in the insert parallel name is if it's a photo variation, cards that are harder for us to recognize. These forms are just for us, for our records, for when cards come back. These are the forms I look at to separate into people's groups, as well as the picture I take. For autograph, if it has an auto, put yes. For player name, obviously pretty self-explanatory, put player name. Serial numbers, this one's kind of confused a few people. It is not the card number, it is the serial number of a card, if it has one. Not every card has a serial number. So for this card example, this Jarrett Stidham rookie auto here, the card number is 122 here on the back, but this one also has a serial number. There's only 27 copies of this green Pulsar. So this is number 10 of 27. So this is what the information we ask and we need. That goes in the serial number column, not the card number. We don't need the card number. This helps us out if people send these same 2 cards in an order and it does have a serial number. Then we're able to figure out whose card is who based off that serial number. If it does not have a serial number and people submit the same cards, it goes on separate orders. We'll send multiple different orders every time out, even for the same submission level, because people have the same card and we can't differentiate that on the same order, so it gets put on separate orders so your cards don't get mixed up with someone else's. If you have questions about cards that you want us to review, if you have a lot, please set up an appointment with us. If you only have a few, please still fill out this form before you bring in your cards. Just put the ones you want to review here on the bottom of the form or at the bottom of whatever many you have. We can always cross those out if you end up not submitting them. Just leave your total blank if you have us want to review. If you already know you want to submit them, please put in your total number times by that and overall expense. There is an upcharge for Beckett for oversized cards, so if the 3x5 cards are bigger, please add an $8 charge per card on that. Quick little explanation of our kind of guidelines here at the bottom that you're agreeing to when you submit. These turnaround times are estimated business days, so that means Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays do not count, and as I said, they're not guaranteed. We'll keep records of your submission, including a copy of your submission and pictures of the cards. So once you're done completing your form, please make a copy of your sheet for your records. Please take a picture of your sheet with your cards as well, as it helps us out so we don't have to go back and find your orders, which we actually can't do. It just takes too much time for us to do that. So please make sure you're being responsible for your cards you're submitting. Everything's fully insured, but you need to keep record of your cards. We will contact you by email once your order is completed and returned to the shop. So we email for Beckett. We email you once they get to the Beckett, because that's the clock starts. Like I said, even though it's not guaranteed, at least you have an idea of when they got to Beckett. It takes us a few days to process orders, so it might not get there for a week after the submission date, because we have to separate all the orders out and complete them. It takes some time for us to do that. We will email you when these get back. So the day they get back, we separate all the orders out into people's cards, put a price on it, and send you an email. If for some reason you do not get that email within a couple weeks, we'll follow up with phone calls to make sure that those emails got through. So your cards won't be sitting here for forever and you not knowing. We will follow up with you. And that leads to the last one: is I will not contact any card exchange for updates on any outstanding grading orders. Understand that if I do, I may subject myself to losing the opportunity to submit cards to the shop for grading in the future. The reason this is, guys, is for PSA and Beckett. We get so many emails, messages, calls asking for updates, and unfortunately we just don't have any. Especially for Beckett, they get there, they check into the system, the clock starts, but they don't tell us, like, all right, you're in stage 2, you're in stage 3, you're in stage 4. They post when they post and they're done grading. We get them back in the shop a couple days later, and that's when we send the email out. So we don't have any updates to give you, and it just takes so much time out of our day and away from our other customers or from you, to helping our processes and helping our shop be better by answering emails about updates. So please don't contact the shop for those. We will contact you. Make sure your email is legible. And like I said, if for some reason your emails aren't going through, we will follow up with a phone call to make sure you get your cards. Make sure to sign the date you turned in your cards and the date of the next submission, which you can find on our event calendar online. Please put those on there so you know when you turn in your cards, especially when it's taking a long time for cards to get back. We've had a lot of people come to us and say, hey, I submitted cards back in January. We still don't have them back yet. Do you have any updates? And we went back and looked at the submission, and actually you submitted that person submitted at the end of February, which went out on our March order. So their time's a little off. So we just want to make sure you have all the information you need and you're on the same page as we are. There are still going to be questions. We understand that. So if you have any questions about the form, please feel free to contact us through email, through the websites, whatever you need to do, and we'll help you out. This process will take some time to get going, but we want to make it as smooth as possible for everyone, including ourselves, so we're not spending as much time on it as we have to currently. Thanks, guys. Any other updates, like I said, feel free to question us or send us questions. We'll update our form as much as possible to keep the current prices and the current turnaround times listed on there so you guys know how long it's going to take. Thanks, guys.